What is Write for Hire? My name is Gina. I am an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Write for Hire is where the publisher or the agency or somebody who is in charge of making decisions about what gets published has an idea for something and they reach out to an author and say, we think that you should be the one that is going to write this. I have had some people say, like, I wish I could just be the idea person and I could just be paid to be that person and not actually have to do the writing. And I've made a video before saying, like, no, that's not really a job, because from where, like, the author people are sitting, it's not. But there are people who work for publishers or who work for big, like, IP holding companies. Like, somebody at Disney is up there being like, you know what, I think that Star-Lord and Gamora should make out more and we're going to write a novel about that. And I don't know if there actually is a novel about that, but, like, you get the idea that there is somebody who owns this IP who is like, I think that we should write a book about this, and so go find me a writer to write a book about that. Some of the Write for Hire that I did was writing children's books for subscription services. So you, like, get an educational subscription box and then there's like a book that comes along with it. And I wrote some of those books. You can be asked to do ghostwriting or, like, be a contributing editor to somebody that isn't going to have a ghostwriter written. And, like, I know that people get really touchy when you say that their favorite celebrity had a ghostwriter, but yeah, they probably had a ghostwriter, or, like, you know, a really heavily editorial person who was, like, consulting and helping them, like, not a ghostwriter, not a ghostwriter. But this is writing that is done where somebody else has the project and they are putting you as a writer onto it. You do not get to really apply to be a Write for Hire person. Those types of calls are, I mean, really, really rare, really, really few and far between. But more likely you're going to be picked up for this type of work if you are a working writer, if you are submitting other things and you have relationships with editors or with agents or with other writers who are in the writing space, and they might say, like, hey, I got asked to do this job, but I don't think I'm right for it, but I think you might be right for it. Do you want to step in and do it? Or you submitted a bunch of fantasy novels that are really, really well written, but they're not totally right for the market, or they don't have space to be able to put those out. But they say, hey, we do have novelizations of Dungeons and Dragons that we need somebody to write, and all of our current novelists are under contract. Would you like the opportunity to do this? If you look at what Brandon Sanderson did with The Wheel of Time, that was Write for Hire work, where he was continuing writing in somebody else's world, stories that were already picked out and written for him, and he just kind of followed orders to a certain degree. This isn't something that you're likely going to be able to seek out very often, but if you are actively writing and networking and building relationships with other writers and editors and agents and people who are in the publishing space, you might get tapped in to do this. And it can be lucrative, like, really lucrative.